Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Meyer, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Now, in this video, I want to resolve your conversion issues. So if you are running Facebook ads and you're not getting conversions on the other end, or your Facebook ads might not be doing as well as they could, I want to resolve all of those problems. I'm going to jump into my whiteboard here. I'm going to show you guys exactly what we do at my agency. It's a six-figure agency, so you know that it's legit. And also on top of that, I'm going to show you guys some tools that you can use and implement to make your life way easier. So without any further ado, let's jump into the computer here, and we have our handy dandy whiteboard. So first things first, right off the bat, we're going to have our Facebook, right? And that's going to be running ads. And this is really your top of the funnel. And I love funnels because they work so well when they're implemented correctly here, and you obviously want to get people to go through the funnel. And I'm still learning how to write on this thing, so I apologize. So we have Facebook ad, and then that's going to be your top of the funnel. It's going to bring people in there. But the question is, one is, how is your Facebook ad doing? Is it good or bad? And when I say is it good or bad, what kind of ROI are you getting? If you're spending between 5 cents to about 25 to 30 cents per click, that's really good. That's usually what I tell people to strive for is that number, because that's just a great number. That's an affordable number, and that can give you some decent conversions. If you're doing anything between 25 to really like 75 cents, that's not bad. We'll do 26 to 75 cents. Not bad. I would honestly say that those are pretty good results depending on your industry. And then honestly, anything over 75, you got to be really careful because that's when it gets expensive. I really wouldn't pay more than $1 for Facebook ads. If that's the case, you're doing something wrong. But this is how you solve that problem. And what a lot of people don't do is they only make one ad. And that's the problem right there. Is you can't just have one ad. You need to have 3 or 4. I typically, at our agency, we'll do 4 ads, and we'll keep 4 ads running every single time, and we're constantly A/B testing these. So we'll do 4 different ads. We'll typically write 2 of them. We'll actually use AI for another one, and then we might go out and buy another one from somebody else here. And we A/B test every single one of them, because this is then going to allow you to know who is going to give you the best ad. So if you don't know what A/B testing is you basically take the exact same ad over and over and over again, and you make one minor change. So it could be the image, it could be the copy, it could be emojis, and over and over and over again, you're going to find out what ad is going to perform the best. And just because you found the best performing ad does not mean you're done with this whole process. That's where a lot of people get hung up. They just say, oh, this ad works, so I'm just going to keep running it forever. That is the worst thing that you could possibly do. You should be running ads all of the time. It doesn't matter how much money you're spending. If you're spending $5 a day, $50 a day, or $100 a day, you should have A/B variations running all of the time, because you're always going to get the best version of your ad, right? So you have your ad, then you have your A/B test, which may very well be slightly different, vastly different. And one of these, out of these 4, is going to yield a massive result, which might result in between 0.5 to 0.05 to 25 cents per lead. And that's really like where you want to get to, because if you're not there, you're probably overspending. And like I said, it does vary on industry. 26 to 75 is fine. That's an acceptable number depending on the industry that you're in. But 5 cents to 25 cents is really the sweet spot where you want to get into the ad and start having people click through. Now, the ad is really that top layer of that sales funnel over here. Let me turn this red here. Your sales funnel is the most important thing. So if you're spending this amount of money and you're just getting them into the top of the funnel, but they're not converting down here, you have a massive issue on your hands, but a good issue at best, because this is an area where you can make massive improvements and you can make them on the fly. The cool part about that is all of these ads are going into that funnel. And everybody's funnel is going to be a little different. That's why I'm doing this on a whiteboard and not actually doing this on my computer, because your ad is going to be very different than my ad. But all of these can go into the top of the funnel. And then you have to figure out what is that first thing that they're hitting on the top of the funnel here. What lives right there? And oh, that's cool. I could click this and move it. I don't know why it's not working now, but that's okay. So you have your question mark here. What is this? right? This is the most important area to get people to convert. Once you get them, or get their email addresses, get them into your funnel, this then gives you a lot more leverage. You can send them emails, you can send them follow-ups, but converting right here is probably the most important part. So what are you doing here? And this is where a lot of people struggle. If you're not sending them to the right offer, you're probably going to fail. The other thing that you have to keep in mind too is, if we A/B tested all this, why wouldn't we A/B test this? And this is where people either seem to give up, or they just don't care, or they just don't know how to do this really, really well. So it really depends on where your traffic's coming from. If your traffic is coming from maybe a YouTube channel, right, you could probably do something different. So you could do a sales letter because they already know you, they already have trust in you. But if you're coming in from an ad, it's probably going to be a freebie, whether that's an ebook, that's a pamphlet, that could be a questionnaire, that could be a worksheet, that could be a checklist. Any of those things are perfect ways to get people in your funnel. Now, running them right to a free masterclass is probably not the best thing to do, although it does work depending on how much value you provide in the ad. The only thing is if you're going to frame it with a masterclass, which a lot of people I see do, that's fine, but make sure you get their contact information first. Do one layer above the masterclass. So this is your web page here. This is going to be your master class. You want that person to come in from that ad down here, but you want to make sure you put a barrier of a capture in here. That way you can capture their information and then drive them to the masterclass. So if you're going to do this, I would highly recommend a worksheet, a follow along, something tangible that somebody could pick up and say, hey, okay, I'm going to go through this masterclass. They're going to guide me along this route that I need. But before that, I needed to get this worksheet before I view this masterclass. That's usually people's main problem. On the flip side of things, I also don't particularly love masterclasses right away, unless that's kind of like a free order bump. So, hey, you got their information. By the way, if you have 20 minutes, check out our free masterclass. It's actually loading in right now, depending on how you frame it. But a lot of people struggle right here with the ad to the capture to the masterclass. And this is essentially where I'm getting to, is you can A/B test all of these things. So we use a program called Swipe Pages, and Swipe Pages, you can A/B test every single page that you're going to do. So you have your A variation, you have your B variation, and when you run traffic to both of these, you're then going to be able to see which one stands out of the two and make a better and more highly educated decision. This is massively powerful. So if you're having a conversion issue, I was going to say massive conversion issue, but for some people it could be a massive conversion issue. What does the top of your funnel look like? Have you A/B tested this thing to death? Because if you're spending a lot of money and you're not getting a lot of conversions, is your ad good? All right, we already covered the ad. How good is your ad? Are you spending between 5 cents and 25 cents for a click? Or are you spending between 26 and 75 cents per click? Or are you spending even more than that? And then when they go to the top of that funnel, where are you driving them to? Because if you're driving them to a capture form, that's going to be tremendous. But if you're not driving them to a capture form, you're just driving them right to a masterclass, you can't really get data on that. You can see how many people visited, but if your goal is to figure out how many people converted out of here, right, and you're looking for a number of people, little hashtag sign, I know it's a pound sign, but if you're looking for a number of people that actually come through here, this is where the separation happens, because maybe your button took 30 minutes to show up, right? And if that's the case, then you're losing sales, because that person's attention span might be 5 to 7 seconds. But if you do a capture ahead of time where you A/B test it to see what variation is going to be best, and build these landing pages out. The person that specifically asked this question lives in Kajabi. I like Kajabi, but it's really not as great as people make it seem. And I'm not hating on Kajabi. There are some massive benefits to it, but their landing page creator is subpar at best. That's why I would highly recommend using something like Swipe Pages, and there's a million other platforms out there that you can use. But spending the money here is going to be worth every dollar, because knowing which variation is going to be best is huge. Maybe your first variation returns a 5% conversion rate, which really is not that great for an ad, but maybe variation B then returns a 15% conversion rate, which is way better. But maybe you're looking for a 30 or 40%. So you take B, you bring B down, and we'll do B again here, and then you do B 2.0, right? B, just like you do it on an Excel sheet where it has that little number or little letter behind it. But now you have B, which is this one. So you keep this. You know this is going to convert at 15%, but maybe you try another one with B and you make a couple edits to the colors. And I'm going to cover that in a second here. But maybe you make a couple edits to the colors where now that maybe variation B, dot A is converting at 25%. And now that's when you're getting serious traffic. Because if you're spending, let's just say, or I shouldn't say spending, I don't feel like doing math, but let's say you're getting 1,000 people to your landing page per day. If you're getting 1,000 people, is it better to get 5 people or 150? 50 people or 150 people? And then out of that 150 people, why not try to increase it even more? So try that variation B. If you're getting 1,000 people, now you're talking about 250 people going through on this variation. Now you're getting some serious results in this whole process. And now you can drive them to your masterclass while you're still getting their contact information and they're getting content and value out of it. That's the process that a lot of people seem to be messing up, where they're just driving it right to a masterclass or they're not capturing data. So A/B test everything you possibly can. Give some variations on your Facebook ad. Even if you're working with somebody else, where are they getting their ads from, right? That's something super important to know. Where are they how does your funnel look? Why is this, if you're doing this, why does this convert better than just driving them to a masterclass? Get their contact information. Because at one point or another, they had interest. And you can track whether or not they went to the masterclass or they clicked on the masterclass. If they didn't, send them a follow-up email. Hey, I saw that you didn't go to the masterclass. Why didn't you go to the masterclass? We'd love for you to be there. We think that there's some serious value. And because you got our lead capture, I don't know what that thing is for you, but if you got that lead capture and you're not going to implement it, you're probably missing out on some serious value here. And then you're going to drive them over to Swipe Pages. I just use Swipe Pages. Like I said, there's a bunch on the market. I will show you how I use Swipe Pages. Then you have your A/B testing. A/B test everything you possibly can. The only other exception that I would make is if you're going to run an ad right to a masterclass. Let me bring this down here. So if you're going to run an ad to a masterclass, one, I would still A/B test this. Because if you don't A/B test your masterclass, is it really performing as good as it possibly could? And on top of that, make sure your masterclass is dialed in. And that should be almost a VSL, a visual sales letter. So visual sales letter is just basically a masterclass with a sale attached to it behind it, where you're presenting your solution, or better yet, your sale, your item, whatever it is that you're selling, as the solution to that person's problem. And that's where you're really going to succeed. So now that I've kind of covered this and how it should all go, and this is kind of the big picture of it, your Facebook ads into the funnel, right? Run an ad to a capture form, A/B test everything along the way. And then when you do all of that, then you can come in here, you can figure out your numbers and then say, hey, I know that if I spend $100 on Facebook, I'm going to get 150 leads out of it, or whatever that number is that you're looking for. But that's where the real kind of success and science comes in behind this. And if you're not doing this, you're probably leaving money on the table. Now, I'm going to jump into my computer. I just want to show you guys some of the tools that I mentioned, and probably some tools that are going to make your life a lot easier. So give me 1 second to cut everything over, and we'll jump right in there. Alrighty, so I just pulled up Swipe Pages here, and I'm going to use the test that I used in a previous video. And this is something that I don't see enough people doing. So you can do standard mode, you can do A/B testing, and in these variations, this is going to be where you're going to get your numbers. Now, like I said, I'm not going to pull up my own stuff because I don't particularly want to give away my secrets, but this is the biggest secret that I could possibly give you guys, which is going in and doing this whole thing. So once again, landing page, you're going to be able to click on it, and these are going to be your variations. You're going to have variant A, variant B. You're going to be able to get your analytics on it, and it lays out the analytics beautifully. Who's converting, who's not converting, how many visitors, any leads that you're going to get. You can put them in an Excel sheet. You can also automate this process. It does allow for a bunch of integrations. You have your settings, any tracking code that you might need, in this case, Facebook Pixel, and you could add some text in here as well. And then last but not least, your integrations. But let's dive into it so I can actually show you guys exactly what I'm talking about as far as A/B testing, because this is the area that most people seem to fail at. And I remember specifically in this one, I just used a quick little landing page that they already had pre-designed. I'm not going to sit here and spend a couple hours designing a landing page, but It's a beautiful looking landing page. This is called an AMP page, an accelerated mobile page. I would highly recommend that any ads that you're running go to an AMP page, because more people now than ever are using their cell phones, and because of that, you want that ad to run as fast as possible. So right off the bat, I would highly recommend going with AMP pages. If you're on Kajabi, which I know the person that specifically asked this question is, you cannot use AMP pages on Kajabi. It just doesn't work. You have to use a third-party platform. It just helps the load speed. AMP pages load almost instantaneously, whereas websites and normal pages load a lot slower. But in here, you'll see this button here is a different color, and I think I changed a couple other small colors on this. This color down here, I believe I changed. And if I go to variant B now, and this is the beautiful part about working on swipe pages, you can actually see back and forth what pages look like what. So here it is, right? We have a button that is now orange as opposed to white. And then down here, we also have an orange button versus a blue button. And you would go through and make all of these changes. So what I would say is build one page first, build a variant A, however you want to design it, and then create variant B. And this is just another way to create a variant here, but you can hit clone. You definitely want to clone the variant, and then you're going to hit add variant, and that will give you a variant B, and then that's where you're going to make your changes. The nice part is this, at the end of it, gives you one URL. So I'm not going to connect any of this right now because it really doesn't make sense for me to connect it because there's nothing on here. But if I'm going to hit publish your domain, you can connect your domain, so it's not some random domain on here. You also have the ability to use a swipe pages domain. Your domain works really, really well. It looks almost flawless. It does say, it'll say like that's ours, right? Giveaways.growthgenerators.com that we're working on. And it'll allow you to preview it and publish it. So if I hit publish, it just wants that information here. But it'll give you all your settings, all right here, general, headers, typography, colors. Anything that you would use building a website is all going to be located here. Even if you wanted to add custom code, you can even add custom code, although I wouldn't recommend it with AMP pages because it will slow things down. You have custom JavaScript, checkouts, cookie notes, all that good stuff, and any modules. So you're not like dragging and dropping it. It'll already prefabricate a bunch of stuff. You don't have to sit there and you're not going to be custom coding anything. It's just kind of drag this one block into that area and you're good to go. Countdowns I know are super important in this. And then we're going to go back up to the dashboard here. And then as you begin to drive traffic, you'll be able to see how much, when it says weight, that is how much is going to each variant. And you're going to start to see analytics. What numbers are you actually looking for that can produce results? Is it conversion rate? Is it conversions, unique visits? These are all really important data sets that you would need. And the beautiful part is when you do this and you do run Facebook ads, you can actually go in here and select the date. So if you ran a different Facebook ad to it, you can see how that worked. Now, there are some stories out there where people's Facebook ads converted more sales but less conversions. It's super crazy. I don't exactly understand copywriting to the best of my ability, but I know that the best copy in the world makes a tremendous amount of money for people. You also have leads in here that'll show all your leads. And like I said, settings, you have your analytics here. If you want to keep track of any of this kind of stuff, it's all built into it. This platform has come so far in here. And the other thing that I want to show you guys that'll make your life a lot easier other than swipe pages is a software that we use here called copysmith.ai. And the beautiful part is it does so much stuff. So if I wanted to run a Facebook ad, better yet, it's going to be in your ads area, Facebook ads. So you can run Facebook ads, Google ads. And I say stuff because there is literally, you can't group blogs in with ads and with brainstorming and branding. I will say that a lot of my YouTube videos, probably including this one, will have a YouTube video description made by AI. So definitely go check that out. But down here, you'll have your Facebook ad. You're going to hit create and it'll take a second here to load. And then you're going to be able to put in your information. So friendly, funny, professional, adventurous, luxurious, whatever it might be. Company name, we'll just do Growth Generators. So that's what my agency does. Keywords. And it's just asking for a little bit of data on this about your product, right? That's what we do. SEO and content marketing services for that industry. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're building content and helping people get more leads. And then you have your ad keywords. So in this area, you would just do SEO, content marketing, and maybe a handful of the other ones, business. sales leads. And we're just pulling out some important words on here, and then we're going to hit generate. Now, you could also hit words to avoid. I've never ran into the problem where I needed to avoid words, and it takes about 15 seconds or so, and this is the best part about it. It's going to kick back a bunch of information. Now, this is actually probably one of the weaker ones that I've seen, and I'm not hating on it, but believe it or not, shorter ads work really, really well. Power your business with the right keywords. Keywords matter. Get the most out of your SEO with content generators. And it gives you a bunch of variations. So now if I hit enter more, and you would really want to copy your description of your product into there, and that's when it works the best. There's also in here product descriptions that you can make with this. We are a small business SEO firm based in Austin, Texas. I don't know where I got that information. We work with small to mid-sized businesses to help them rank on Google and other search engines and grow your business. I mean, it's going to give you all of the information that you're going to need in here. Now, is it the best ads out there? No. What I would say is if you're going to run ads, I would highly recommend, and if you're running Facebook ads specifically, Ad Zombies, it's a great platform. They write some of the best copy that converts for whatever reason. They just happen to be freakishly good at it. I'm not hating on them. I've used them. I know a bunch of people that have used them. And honestly, everybody keeps having crazy, crazy success with it. So check it out. I mean, they do a really good job. You can do a Facebook ads and custom image, Facebook ad copy. This is usually the one I tell people to start off with, is Facebook ad copy. For $100, you're going to get 2 variations, that A/B testing, and it takes them about 3 to 5 days, but they write ads that convert. They really do. I can't give them a big enough testimonial because it's just really, really good. So definitely check these guys out. They are no joke. If this is not cutting it for you, or you're not sure how to run an ad, or if your agency or whomever you're working with isn't running the best Facebook ads, this is the best place to start because it's free. You can run as many of these as you want once you pay for the monthly plan, of course, but that's besides the point. And I will leave links to everything down below. But this is a great place to start. This is what your Facebook ad would look like. And the more information in here, the better. I mean, company, product, and description, it's going to give you everything in here. I've done actually a couple videos on this where the results were mind-blowing. But this is a great alternative to running or trying to write your own copy. And then Swipe Pages is just going to make your life so much easier with variants where you can A/B test and really get the data that you need. So I hope this video helps. I know it's a bit of a longer one, but this was a question that I specifically saw online, and I know that there's probably a lot of other people that are struggling with getting their Facebook ads to actually work. This is the process that you have to go through to make your Facebook ads work. Doesn't matter what software, what ads, what products you're running, it really doesn't. What matters is the process that you follow to get the best results possible. So my name is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur. I hope this video helps. Hope you guys found value in this. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, either reach out to my agency, growth-generators.com, link down below, or leave me a comment. I'd love to answer it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.